More kids dumping cell phone calls and emails with their folks in favor of online chatting or texting with mom or dad. So what are the ramifications for engaging mom at work this way? Well, Lindsay Gellman has been reporting on the trend for the Wall Street Journal's personal journal section. She joins us right now, and she's also joined by mother and daughter Tamra and Cassaundra Excell. They're in Washington State. They are going to weigh in on their own personal experience with this. All right, so Lindsay, let's start with you though. Texting and chatting online, they're a far more instantaneous type of conversation. Pros and cons, though, to each. Tell us about them.
Sure. Well, chatting with your parents from work is not a new thing. Talking to your parents from work, if you are someone in your 20s or 30s. What is new is the way that people in their 20s and 30s are talking to their parents. So instead of a phone call from your cubicle to mom, instead people are texting and they're chatting, and they can do that more discreetly, more within the flow of their other work tasks.
And when you say chatting, you mean like you're opening up your Gmail and there's an instant chat, and you see that for people who don't use it, it's the running conversation. It's very instantaneous and a fast refresh. It pops up. You don't have to, again, refresh your screen like you do with email.
That's right. It pops right up. On top of whatever else you're doing, and you can pick right back up, chat, and then continue on with what you're doing.
And obviously texting on your cell phone is a quicker way to do it. And the phone's not ringing. You don't have to step out of the building to do that. Let's talk to Tamra and Cassaundra just for a moment here. Cassaundra, you use this to sort of text your mom and talk to her from your job at a restaurant. Tell us a little bit about what during your day might trigger you to text mom.
Anything from a previous conversation that we were having to something going on at work that I wanted to share with her. Or I just remembered something that, oh wait, I need to tell mom about this, or let her know to do this. Just having a constant flow of conversation throughout the day.
Are you ever asking her advice on anything at work?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, she's my mom, so definitely.
All right, Mom, let's hear from you. So, this a good thing, or is it intrusive in your day? How do you feel about this?
I feel fine with it. It's not intrusive in my day. Just the opposite. Like you were saying, this has been going on for a long time anyways. The form is more discreet this way. It doesn't interrupt the flow as readily as a phone call would even. And when we need the phone call, we do the phone call, or when we need the face-to-face time, of course, we do that quite often too, and we make a point of that. But it just keeps the conversation lines open. There are times I feel that we might be communicating when we would not have otherwise, where we would have hesitated otherwise if we weren't using the chat or the texting.
That's an interesting point you make. And Lindsay, you were talking about before how this is very generational. You canvassed some of the wireless carriers, industry analysts. What does their research say about overall communication trends going in this direction?
Sure. Well, the wireless researchers that I spoke to and the different phone companies and data providers say that people in their 20s and 30s are not big on talking on the phone, and they gravitate towards plans, towards wireless plans that don't have very many voice minutes, but rather have large allowances for texting and data usage. On the other hand, the boomers, people in their 50s and 60s, tend to talk quite a bit on the phone, but in recent years, according to the people I spoke with, their texting and data usage has spiked. So they're texting more just as they continue to keep talking.
Interesting. Cassaundra, let me ask you this. We were talking about this downstairs, and I deal with this with my own mom, who I always want to talk to, but they're just sometimes at work where you can't. And I sometimes feel if there's a text, or if we don't use a chat, but if we did have a chat function, that she would feel bad if I didn't respond right away. How does that work with you and your mom?
It's actually quite the opposite. I mean, with a phone conversation, if I ask a question to you and then you don't reply right away, there's a silence and you're just waiting. With chat, it kind of allows for that. If I'm in the middle of working on my computer, if I'm doing something else, I can just ignore that text for a few minutes until I'm able to answer, and then I can shoot a quick reply. And then if she doesn't answer right away, that's completely fine, because that's kind of one of the benefits that you have with texting or chatting.
And Tamra, you don't mind if your daughter doesn't answer you right away. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if she didn't answer me for more than a day, I would get very concerned.
Right.
but no, that's life. That's how it is. I understand that we're both busy, and we're both doing different things. I know that she is going to respond to me when she's able to. That might be a couple hours.
And do you ever worry that she might lean on you too much because you're so accessible that might somehow, like, you know, in the sort of growing up stage, that maybe she might stay too attached to mom and mom's advice for too long?
What I'm finding with both my kids, and I have two daughters, is that they will access me as much as each individual needs me, and that's different for different situations. And what I'm finding is that they are, it's easier for them to take chances and to go do things like Cass recently taking off to Portland, because she has that safety net. If she needs somebody to help her with navigation, she can call, she can text, you know, or from the hotel hop on Skype and get some advice on something. And so it's actually easier to go take those risks when you know that you have that connection. It's easier for me as a parent too, because I know that my kids can very easily get a hold of me if they need me.
Very good point. All right, Tamra, Cassaundra, thanks so much for sharing your personal story. More in Lindsay's story in our personal journal section tomorrow. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate that.